Over the last 2 years, I've helped over 3,000 clients send over 1 billion cold emails. And just last month, we sent over 100 million cold emails on behalf of our clients. Because of such a huge amount of data, I can tell you exactly what works and what doesn't work. So I spend all that time analyzing what works and what doesn't. And I put this into this video. There's going to be around 23 actionable tips that you can take action on. If you've never done cold email, this is literally all you need to watch right now to make sure that actually gets results. And if you're already doing cold email, then fixing just 2 or 3 of these things that I'm going to mention are going to get you to that next level and going to 2 to 3x your reply rates. Let's start with lesson number 1. Now let me ask you a question. When's the last time you bought anything from a cold email? Probably never. And that's because emails are not the best vehicle to immediately sell something. The goal of your cold email is not to sell your service or your product, in fact. It's to start a conversation, getting the reply. That's the only goal that your cold emails need to achieve. Now, the way you achieve this is by saying something in your email that gets them extremely curious, and then ideally using a soft call to action. Something like, would this be interesting for you? Can I send you more information? Can I share how we did this for case study company? Then once you start the conversation, you build up the relationship, you might want to transition into a call, into a consultation, and start selling your service. Lesson number 2. Now, you'd be surprised how many customers we've helped to actually get a ton of responses and replies, and people saying, yes, sure, send me more information. Yes, I'd like to learn more. And then they actually don't respond to the leads in time. If you get an interested reply, you need to respond extremely fast. Alex Hormozy says you should respond within 10 minutes. If it takes you a day or two to respond, those prospects are not going to be in the same headspace that they were in when they replied to the email. And at that point, it might not be that relevant anymore. So respond quickly. And if you can't because it's just too much work and you don't have the capacity to hire SDRs or setters, then you can use an AI email agent. There's tools like RefReply that automatically respond to all of your interested leads within seconds. And the best part is that you can train the AI to actually have back and forth conversations with the leads. And trust me, people don't realize that they have actually been talking to an AI. It's beautiful. And then those AI email agents can automatically book the call in as well. Lesson number 3. Now, cold email is nothing but the vehicle to get in front of your ideal clients. But your offer and what you actually have to sell and how you package it, that's going to determine if you're going to get results of cold email or not. Then your first goal and only mission is to find that offer. Now, if you want to learn how, I'd highly recommend you to read $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy. But the point is that if you currently don't have a winning offer, don't expect your emails to just perform in the first weeks. And you do this by creating different cold email campaigns with different offers until you find something that actually resonates with the market. And yes, it will take some time until you find something that works. But this is the foundational work that you need to do to make your business repeatable, because you can take that winning offer and promote it via LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads, and so on. It's going to work everywhere. Tip number 4. Now, most people, when they write their cold email campaigns, they do so on a computer. Now, the problem is that 90% of your prospects read emails on their phone. So the mistake that almost everyone makes is they write emails that are way too long. On the computer, everything is more stretched out. So when you then actually send the email to the mobile, it looks extremely long. And I've looked at the data, and short emails always outperform long emails. Ideally, keep your emails under 100 words, and make sure to always send test emails to your own phone to actually read them and see, is this something that you would actually read and reply to? Tip number 5, and if you're not doing this, then your emails fail before they even get opened. And we're talking about the subject line. Prospects see your subject line and technically the first line of your email before they even open the email. And based on the words you choose, they'll decide if they want to open it or not. So the lesson here is never reveal that you're selling something in your subject line and in your first line. Because as soon as they smell that you're selling something, they're going to swipe right and archive that email before they even read it. So the way to make cold emails work is you need to choose a subject line that's just full of curiosity, and they have to click on it and read the email to actually know what it's about. Now, those subject lines could be the legendary quick question first name, thoughts first name, regarding company name, I was wondering, anything that a colleague could have sent them. And that's going to get your emails open so that you even have a chance to get a reply in the first place. Tip number 6. Now, a lot of people obsess over personalization these days, as if there's some magical AI personalization hack that's going to make your cold emails work. But the truth is that any kind of personalization might make them read the email, but it's not going to make them care about your offer. So looking at the data, I was actually surprised by how many of our customers don't use any personalization, but their offer is just irresistible. It's just something that you want to reply to, and as a result, they get all the results. So if you take the time to personalize your email, and you can do this with AI, and you can do this in bulk, what I personally like to do is I like to start my emails with, "Hey John, I found you looking for Google Ads agencies," and the Google Ads would then be the AI variable, and it would sometimes say, "Found you looking for SEO agencies, found you looking for Facebook ad agencies," but that's pretty much it. You don't need more than that, and in fact, if your offer is good, then you don't need any of it. Tip number 7, the biggest challenge with cold email in 2025, 2026, and beyond is to land in the inbox. Now, the benefits of cold email is that it's extremely affordable to get in front of your ideal clients. There's nothing like it, but the disadvantage that comes with that is that it's incredibly difficult to land in the inbox at scale, and that is by design. Google and Outlook, Microsoft, they technically don't benefit from you succeeding with cold email and blasting emails to their network of users. They want you to run ads after all. That's why they continue to make it more difficult to land in the inbox and not in the spam folder. Now, the mistake that a lot of people unfortunately do is they use links in their emails. Now, the problem is if you use your own website, Google and Outlook can't scan what's behind that link. You could be sending viruses or scamming people. And that is why your emails are so much more likely to land in the spam folder when you use links. So what you do instead is, again, you use your email to start a conversation. Is this something you'd be interested in? Can I share more information? And once they reply, yes, sure, whatever they reply, that's when you can send all the links because you already land in the inbox. They already replied, indicating to Google and Outlook that your email is good. Tip number 8. Now, this is going to be a nerdy one again, connected to deliverability, which is, again, the biggest challenge if you send cold emails at scale is to land in the inbox and not in the spam folder. And what most people do wrong is they send pretty much the same email thousands of times. And if you do that, you make it very easy for Google and Outlook to see, oh, this is basically the same company, the same sender spamming people. One of the solutions to this is to use spintax. Now, most good cold email sending tools like Instantly or Smartly that are made for cold emailing support spintax. And spintax means adding variations of specific words. And I highly recommend you to add at least 3 to 5 per email campaign. So as a result of using spintax, every email will be kind of unique because it will use random variations of those words. So make sure to provide a couple alternative words. For example, we can help you grow your revenue, we can help you increase your revenue, we can help you scale your revenue. And when you do this, your emails look much more unique and they'll land in the inbox much more consistently when you're sending at scale. Tip number 9. Now, most people, when they start sending cold emails, they want to track the open rates. Now, the problem is, in order for these sending tools to enable open rate tracking, they add a hidden link into your HTML code. And when that link gets triggered, it basically triggers that the email was opened. Now, as we already know, links cause your deliverability to plummet. So you want to disable open rate tracking. And ideally, you even send your emails as plain text, no HTML. Some of the sending tools like Instantly and Smartly have this option. And if you click that button, it will disable the open rate tracking, but your email will literally be sent in the same way as if you were to send it manually. And that's great because Google and Outlook won't see that you're using an automation tool to send all those emails. Now, as a result, you won't know the open rates, but instead you're going to judge your campaign's performance based on the reply rate. If you use any of the subject lines that I already mentioned, like quick question, thoughts, first name, you're gonna get 60 to 80% open rates anyway. But if you track open rates, at some point you won't because your emails will start landing in spam. The most important part of cold emailing is to make sure that your emails land in the inbox, so don't use open rate tracking. Tip number 10. Sometimes I do get the question, what do I do if I send emails to my entire TAM? And the answer to that question is you just send them emails again in the next quarter. You can recycle your lead list every 3 to 4 months or so. If you think about it, most people won't even remember that you ever sent them an email even 2-3 weeks after. So don't be afraid to send them emails again. Unless they explicitly unsubscribed or said no, then you might not want to do that. Strategically speaking, let's say you use a database like Apollo to filter for your ideal clients, and as a result you see, oh, there's around 300,000 people that I can contact. Then you might want to contact 50 to 100,000 prospects per month because you'll go through your TAM within 3 months and then you can repeat again. Tip number 11, which ties into what we just spoke about, is to make sure that your data actually includes your ICP. Make sure to filter properly. Do you want to target founders? Do you want to target CMOs? If you use databases like Apollo, don't just rely on the broad categories like marketing and advertising, but instead use the keyword section to really filter for the ideal businesses that you know you can help. Make sure you select the right employee amount so that you really make sure your list is as good as possible. And before starting to send cold emails to it, make sure to click on a couple of those website and LinkedIn profiles to ensure that they're actually people that you want to reach out to. Tip number 12 is to always verify your email addresses. No matter where you get your emails from, people switch companies all the time or use different email addresses. You need to use a verification tool like Million Verifier, Never Bounce, or MailVery in order to ensure that those emails still exist and they're being used. Because if you don't do this step and you send emails to addresses that don't exist anymore, and that's one of the easiest signs for Google and Outlook to see that you're spamming people and you don't even know who who you're targeting. So make sure to always verify them. It will cost you a little extra, but it's much better than all of your inboxes and domains being blocked and destroyed as a result. Tip number 13 is to spread your volume across multiple outreach domains. This is the standard of how people do cold email in the last years. So let me quickly get you up to speed if you don't know how this works. So let's say I want to do outreach for my company, which is mailscale.ai. I wouldn't send cold emails from this domain. I would buy new domains like trymailscale.com, getmailscale.com, and then I would set up inboxes underneath each domain, usually around 5. And those can be fantasy names like Michelle at trymailscale.com, Jessica at trymailscale.com, or my name or names of my team. And every inbox is individually going to send a pretty low amount of emails, something to stay under the radar while you're sending them in total tens of thousands of emails a month. Now, this used to be a hassle, by the way. When I had my lead generation agency, we had to set them all up manually. It took like 10-15 minutes per email inbox. So it would take over 10 hours to just set up 50 inboxes. And Google and Outlook charge around $7 a month per inbox, so it could be very expensive. And on top of that, Google and Outlook actually don't allow you to cold email. So they would regularly block Google Workspace accounts. As you might know if you watched our other videos, that's exactly why I created MailScale. So if you want, you can save a bunch of time and money by setting up inboxes with MailScale. I'll leave a link in the description below. We basically automate the entire process of creating these inboxes. So you can create even hundreds of these inboxes in less than 90 seconds while saving up to 80% of the costs in the process. And the way I look at it is they're basically your virtual sales reps. So you can technically create thousands of virtual sales reps that will send emails for you entirely automated every day for you on autopilot. We currently even give a free domain for you to try it out. And the entire system costs you less than a single hire. Tip number 14, which ties into what I just said. And the question here is, how many emails should a single inbox send? And the answer is 20 to 30 per day maximum per inbox. That's kind of a healthy range where it looks like it could be a human actually sending these manual emails for you to stay under the radar. Tip number 15, how do you know if your cold emails are working? Well, the answer, just like when you run Facebook ads or when you really do anything marketing related, is to A/B test. You want to continuously test different campaigns and different variations and try to keep beating your previous best performance. The way I would do this is I would always contact at least 1,000 prospects each. Because if you send 100 or 200 emails per variation or campaign, that's not really significant data. So you might make wrong decisions because just out of sheer luck, some of the campaigns might have performed better. Tip number 16, what metric should you look at when you evaluate your campaign performance? Because there's the open rate. If you track open rate, I highly recommend you not track open rates. There's the reply rate. There's the positive reply rate. There's the meeting booked rate, how many meetings you got as a result, and technically also how many clients you got from a campaign. Now, clients is always the best one, but because you're running your cold email campaigns to generate more revenue, that's usually a lagging indicator. So I'd recommend you to judge your campaign performance on is the positive reply rate. How many opportunities essentially did a campaign create? Keep in mind that if you ask in a cold email, would you like to jump on a call versus can I send you more information? The can I send you more information one is going to have substantially more positive replies, but it might still at the end book less meetings than this one. Email sending tools like Smartlead and Instantly even automatically tag replies as interested or not with AI, so that you can see which campaign and variation performed the best. Tip number 17 is to do inbox placement tests on a weekly basis. Now, an inbox placement test is a test where you check if your emails land in the inbox or in the spam. And as I already mentioned, deliverability is amongst the biggest challenges with cold email in 2025, 2026, and beyond. So what you can do there is you can use tools like MailReach to do a free inbox placement test. So just go to the website. It will give you the email addresses that you should send the emails to, and it will give you a code that you should include in your cold email campaign. So just duplicate your cold email campaign, add the email addresses, add the code, send your cold email sequence, and you'll know if your emails land in spam, and you'll know what the score is. Now, you want to make sure that you get at least a 80 to 90% deliverability. Otherwise, I would pause my cold email campaigns and troubleshoot. If you do get a low score while doing all the things that we mentioned earlier, not using links, sending emails as plain text, and so on, then it might be because of your copy. You can use a tool like Mail Meteor to see how spammy your copy essentially is, because there are some words like 100% guarantee that will send you to the spam folder. So next step, if your deliverability is bad, would usually be to send an email that just needs to land in the inbox. A simple email like, hey John, are you coming to the barbecue on Sunday? Now, if that email lands in the spam as well with the inbox placement test, then you need to dig deeper. Point is, you need to do this on a weekly basis if you send a lot of cold emails to make sure that everything performs well. Tip number 18, the best cold emails usually are not just single emails. They're actually a sequence of emails. And the recommended sending tools like Instantly or Smartlead allow you to add multiple emails in a sequence, in a campaign that will continue to send every couple days until someone responds. Tip number 19. Now, what's going to determine your results more than anything else is what you put into your email. So, How do you know what's going to get people to respond and what isn't? Well, you'll know by knowing your customers ideally better than they know themselves. And the way that you can get to know them is by talking to them. Talk to your clients, ask them what kind of problems they were facing before they started working with you. If you're just starting your business, do some research on Reddit and really anywhere where you can find out what kind of offer would resonate the most with them. Tip number 20, and trust me, I've tried so many times, AI is mostly not good enough to write really good email scripts. Now, if you train it really well on proven templates, it can do a decent job. But the problem is 99% of the templates you'll find online don't even work anymore. So I highly recommend you to not use AI to outsource your thinking, but to actually write the email campaign yourself. One of the best performing campaigns recently that we launched for MailScale is incredibly simple. Email inboxes as a term is not really that exciting. So what I did for a campaign is I basically positioned them as AI email agents, because the way that we set them up and the way that we help our customers with some of our plans is that they're actually replying to the emails and they're actually being an AI agent. So the email says something like, "Hi John, we can help you set up thousands of AI email agents that will book 100 to 200 more sales appointments a month for you. Can I share how it works?" That's literally it. And the point is that AI would have never come up with such an email. It would always suggest those entirely templated emails that just smell like spam. So don't be afraid to write them yourself. Don't be afraid to be unprofessional in your emails as well, because that's the stuff that usually gets replies, because it looks like a human actually wrote it. Which leads us to tip number 21. You want to hyper obsess over your email copy, and you want to test and test and test. And that's why I said this multiple times within this video as well, because I really want to make you understand that you need to test different email copies. Try to package your service or your offer differently. Try to use different words, just like I replaced email inboxes or mailboxes with AI email agents. In some other emails, I might explain that our software helps you set up virtual sales reps. In some other emails, I wouldn't even mention anything inbox or mailbox related, and I might just say, we can help you get in front of 50,000 potential customers. So you get the point. You want to try all kinds of different things and hyper obsess over your copy. Tip number 22. Now, if everything else fails, and if you just can't package your offer in an attractive way, or your offer is too saturated, then try lead magnets. So a lead magnet is a part of your offer that you can give away free, or it could be a piece of information, basically anything that someone would find valuable and that might be worth responding to. Now, in my case, just as an example, what's part of a cold email process that I could give away as a lead magnet? One of the parts could be a cold email script. So I could write an email saying, "Hey John, I spent some time writing a cold email script that your sales team can use to book more sales meetings with clients looking for SEO services. Do you mind if I send it over?" So I'm already acting and pretending like I already wrote it. This usually gets an extremely high reply rate. And then I could spend the time to write it. I could record a quick Loom video where I go over their website and say, "Hey, this is the type of email script that I would use in your case. If you want to learn more, I'd love to schedule a call with you. Here's the call link." And basically provide value before you even ask for their time. If you're a copywriting agency, you could be saying something like, "Hey, I prepared 10 new headlines that I think will outperform your current headline on your website. Do you mind if I send them over?" If you're an SEO agency, you could be saying something like, "Hey John, I compiled a list of the 50 most important keywords related to barbershops. If you add those to your website, you could be tripling the amount of customers you get. Do you mind if I send them over?" Again, this isn't ideal. The ideal scenario is that you package your offer, or that you have an offer that's so interesting that people would jump on a call even without you having to provide value before. But if that doesn't work, then this could be the solution to your lead gen problems. Tip number 23. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people that I speak to use tools that are setting them up for failure. If you're planning to send cold emails, you need to use tools that are made for cold emailing. You need to use the right inbox infrastructure provider, like MailScale. You want to use the right email setting tool like Instantly and Smartly. Now, if you want to dive even deeper into how you can set up a cold email system, you gotta watch this video that I'm going to attach somewhere here on the left or right side. And that being said, I'm hoping this video was insightful for you. Make sure to subscribe and take a look at the other videos as well if you want to dive even deeper into it. And bye-bye. Have a beautiful rest of your day.